So another job I'm doing at the moment is, the car's MOT exempt, but before it had its MOT exemption certificate, it needed an MOT, funnily enough. And the one thing it failed on was the handbrake wasn't efficient, so I increased the handbrake tension, which is I'm undoing it at the moment because it's too much. The car has too much rolling resistance. So when you come underneath, I've jacked the car up, and underneath here, I don't know how easy it is to see, but there's a like sort of a, that there's protruding at the bottom of the drum. When you go clockwise with it, I think it sort of spreads out the brake shoes sort of for the handbrake, so it takes up sort of the slack, but there's too much, so when you're sort of in neutral and you roll forward, the car just stops as if the brakes are applied. I know it's that because I did it myself to put more efficiency into it, but it's too much. So I'm going to undo it anti-clockwise a few turns and then just test it, just so there's enough that when you apply the handbrake the car holds. But for the MOT, it did fail for the MOT, but it's just MOT standards. But for me, it's just too much. So I've wound the screw in the back, and you can see now it's a lot easier to turn. Obviously, actuate the handbrake on and off a few times while you're doing it, but before you couldn't turn that. Just in case of doing the other side now, I have taken the wheel off. You can't see, it's that bottom one just in there. It's quite hard to see on the camera, I think. Just that long one that's protruding. You do need like a square socket, but I've just that one there that's protruding. But I put an adjustable on it. It's not that tight. See, anti-clockwise slackens it, clockwise tightens it. So this is the driver's side, and as you can see, you cannot even get a turn on that. So we'll come round on that protruding adjustment screw. We'll go anti-clockwise, a couple of turns, and then see you again. So I've done it about 3 or 4 flats back, and as you can see now, I can roll it by hand. I might just do another 2. It's a little bit stiff. It's hard to judge. Obviously, you haven't got much of a leverage, but it's rolling a bit there. I think 1 more. I'll pull the handbrake on and off a few times and then test it again. So I've tried it a few times. I've applied the handbrake and I can't really turn that. It doesn't take long to adjust. Obviously, just jack it up, take the wheel off for a bit better access. I think you can get an actual spanner for it. It's like a square socket, but an adjustable does the job. We'll see from there. I mean, I had them nipped up, so the car wouldn't really free wheel, it would just stop. So when you're on the choke trying to roll the car forward, it was a bit of a pain because the car just wanted to stop. But hopefully we've solved that. So that's the tyre on. I've got the 4 wheel nuts there. We'll just nip them up. Take the slack up while the car's in the air. Get them centred. These aren't the original wheels, nor studs. These, I forget what these are. Minlight, I think they are. But what you do is you change the studs. These are from Freeland, I believe. They fit the hub. Then you can put these Minlights on. I believe these are fit to the Mini as well, but a lot lower profile than the original Triumph. But you do need to pop the hub off, and there's a special tool for that. I've got it over here. Let me see if I can find it. Special hub puller for the Triumph rear axles. That's it there. Bit of a homemade job. That's what you use to pop it off, so you can press the original studs out and put the new ones in. They're just like a press fit. But we'll take the slack up on these, nip them up as best we can, and then lower the car and nip them up fully. Just lowered the car there. I've just went round the clock, nipping them up, and now I'm doing the opposites. Sometimes what you'll find on these hubs as well, when you come to tighten the stud, the securing nuts up, sometimes I just feel like they're not tightening up. I think sometimes it's when you're slackening them off, the stud can sort of, because it's just like a spline on the back into the hub, it can sort of like come out a little bit. And when you sort of on the ratchet doing this, it just seems to turn and turn and turn. But what I find is if you sort of shock load it, a bit like this, and just give it a snap like that, you sort of can bed it in. And that's what was happening with, I think it was this one. It was just turn and turn and turn. Give it a few slams like that, and now it's solid. So we'll do this, and then I'll go and redo the other side. And it's as easy as that for adjusting the handbrake tension.